It was a humid summer afternoon when I finally decided to install a ramp at my front entrance for my aging mother. The ramp was subtle, fully compliant with HOA rules, and necessary for accessibility. I had submitted the plans and received official approval weeks ago. Yet, of course, Karen, the HOA tyrant who thrived on creating drama, was already in a fury. She stormed onto my property, arms flailing, shouting about unauthorized modifications and endangering the neighborhood's appearance. "You can't just build that. You're violating HOA standards," she screeched, gesturing wildly at the freshly installed ramp. I calmly stepped forward, masking my irritation with patience. "Karen, this ramp was fully approved by the HOA. It is for accessibility purposes. It is safe, legal, and necessary. You are trespassing and interfering." Karen's eyes widened, and she raised her voice even further. "I don't care. You think you can just do whatever you want? This is an eyesore. I will make sure everyone knows." I sighed. This was classic Karen behavior, a dramatic escalation over something perfectly legal. "You are making false claims and harassing me," I said evenly. "I suggest you leave my property immediately, or your actions will be documented and reported." But Karen, never one to back down, decided to escalate dramatically. She dialed 911, claiming there was unauthorized construction that threatened neighborhood safety. She gestured wildly at the ramp, waving her phone like a weapon. Within 20 minutes, a patrol car arrived. The officer stepped out, assessing the scene. Karen immediately began her tirade, shouting about rules, property values, and safety hazards. I approached the officer calmly, handing over all documentation: HOA approval emails, blueprints of the ramp, and photographs showing the installation process and compliance with regulations. "Officer, this ramp is legal and approved," I explained. "Karen is making false claims and harassing us." The officer glanced at Karen. "Ma'am, do you have any evidence that this ramp is in violation?" Karen faltered, sputtering. "Well, it's too steep, and it doesn't match the other houses." The officer raised an eyebrow. "Without documentation or legal evidence, these claims are unfounded. Continued harassment can result in fines or citations." Karen's face turned crimson. She tried one last dramatic gesture, leaning toward the ramp to inspect it personally. But as she stepped onto the edge, her foot slipped on the wet concrete. She stumbled, nearly falling, and grabbed at the railing of the ramp for balance. The irony was unmistakable. The very ramp she was condemning had saved her from injury. I calmly helped her steady herself and said evenly, "Karen, this ramp is safe, legal, and necessary. You need to leave my property." Finally, defeated and dripping with sweat from her exertions, Karen retreated to her car, muttering under her breath. The officer gave me a polite nod and advised that all interactions with her be documented moving forward. That evening, I submitted a full report to the HOA, including photos, timestamps, and statements from the responding officer. The HOA issued a formal warning to Karen, stating that any further harassment or false claims could result in fines, suspension, or legal action. Over the next few weeks, Karen attempted a few more minor complaints, but each one was dismissed promptly, thanks to my meticulous documentation and the HOA's firm stance. My ramp remained intact, fully functional, and completely legal. Neighbors who had witnessed Karen's antics quietly praised my patience and strategy. They acknowledged that by staying calm, documenting every step, and involving authorities when necessary, I had neutralized her aggression without escalating the conflict unnecessarily. Reflecting on the ordeal, I realized the ramp had become more than just a structure. It was a symbol of resilience and preparation. Karen had tried to intimidate, threaten, and manipulate, but each attempt backfired, further eroding her credibility. As I watched my mother safely navigate the ramp for the first time, a profound sense of satisfaction settled over me. Karen's attempts to control the neighborhood had failed spectacularly, and logic, documentation, and patience had triumphed over chaos once again. The ramp wasn't just for accessibility, It was a testament to the power of preparedness and the quiet victory of standing firm in the face of entitlement.